Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana, the podcast. You found us on whatever podcast app you use, and we are live.
Live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube world. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. We are live from our monetized YouTube. That
Yes.
is right. Super chats, welcome. There might be ads now. I don't know.
Yep. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Tell us how much you love us.
Yeah, little
And
things like that.
If you want to send a super chat, that's cool too.
Yeah, so we're live on YouTube, and we are here with the new Poisonrana to hit you with everything that's going on in the world of wrestling, because it never stops.
It never stops at all. And
There's-
hello, everyone in the room so far. Hello, Chris Price, who I see in the room. We should be hopefully meeting up with him next month in
right.
the UK. And hello, Jake, always around in the chat room. Tell
Yes,
me, Jake,
from
how
the
you
Windy
doing?
City. Hello. Yeah, lots of listeners all around the place. We will be meeting some more listeners. Some listeners I've never had the opportunity to meet before, because we are crossing the pond in about less than a month's time now to go over to...
Yeah, it's coming up pretty quick now.
I know.
Gotta get our shit together.
I gotta get another, you guys have what, like weird plugs, right? I gotta
Yeah,
get
you
an
need travel
adapter.
Yeah.
Gotta maybe get some summer fits.
Yep. Gotta sort out your holiday clothes.
What am I wearing at SummerSlam is the question.
I've got my SummerSlam outfit sorted.
We're going to Detroit, and I was at a Marshall's, and they had like one of our, we love the colorful button-ups and stuff, especially summertime, and it was all American flags all over it, and I was like, should I just, like, I'll wear it one day in Detroit and then just leave it there. But I didn't do it. My girlfriend didn't let me, so so I don't know what I'm gonna wear for like, that's a big thing.
You know, Joe Fresh are like clearing out their summer stuff right now. You can get a nice shirt for what I'm wearing right now. It's about $12 there. So
Right.
shout out Joe Fresh.
If you
want to sponsor us, feel free.
It was worth $12 before you spilled bacon on it about 5 minutes before
I know.
the air
It's
right
more
now.
my shorts I'm worried about. I am very pink today. I went to get my coffee today, and the barista was like, "Oh, you're off to see Barbie today?"
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, No,
No, I just dressed this way.
I just dressed this way normally. I've been using that joke a lot because over the weekend I've had a lot of customers all in pink who are off to see the Barbie film. I'm like, so how was Oppenheimer?
Oh, you're wearing pink. You going to see Barbie? No, I'm just a Bret Hart fan.
Yeah.
I'm wearing pink all the time. I haven't seen either yet.
I'm hopefully this week. I was planning to see one of them yesterday before work.
Yeah.
And I did that thing where I woke up at 9 in the morning and I was like, I can probably have
be a
another
glorious day.
hour in bed. I can have a nice little lie-in. Next time I look at my phone, it's 2:30. I'm like, oh, well, shit. Okay,
Yeah.
better get ready for work.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see, like, I more so want to see Barbie because I feel like it'll be this like whole I think it's gonna make $1 billion. It's already made so much money. Oppenheimer, it'll be like the better, like, serious movie that might get Oscar noms and stuff.
They've got the director Greta Gerwig is like a serious director though for Barbie as well. It's not like it's just some kind of
it looks like Truman Show
cash
kind of
grab kind of thing. I
Pleasantville.
think a lot of thought has gone into this, especially with the casting and everything. I've heard great things so far, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love all the super right-wing media outlets saying it's anti-man. Like, all right, can't wait to see it. So let us know if you've done Barbenheimer, if you've done one or the other. I feel like there's a few other movies. I watched Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3 at work.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I might as well watch the other ones and catch up and maybe go see the new one, because it does look still pretty impressive.
Yeah,
So I might do that.
There's too much wrestling on, and it's the summer.
Yeah.
Why are you putting what's with the summer blockbuster?
Summer blockbusters?
Realistically,
What happened to the Christmas blockbusters?
Yeah, can we, when it's shitty outside, that's
Yeah.
when you try and get us into theaters? Because I want to see Indiana Jones still.
Oh, right.
I want to
Wow.
see. I still haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse.
I would recommend seeing that before it's too late in theaters. Yeah,
Absolutely. I definitely want to see that on the big screen. I want to see Barbie. I want to see Oppenheimer. I'm a sucker for the Insidious films as well. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But
Wow, there's a new one.
guys, it's July.
Yeah.
What you thinking?
Yeah, that's always weird. The same goes with like wrestling, like starting a whole new show on a Saturday night. It's like, it's really hard because it's like finally, I mean, we're in Canada. It's not always nice here. So when it finally is, I don't want to stay inside. I want to like go outside.
I guess some of the thought might be it's like, it's not hockey season. It's not basketball season.
Yeah.
Like all that, like the only real sport competing is baseball. I mean, I guess UFC as well, but that's normally pay-per-view. But like baseball. So I guess that's the thinking. And what else do they normally put on there? But yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough to keep up with everything at the moment.
I'm enjoying the summer. We both, you know, we do this as our one gig, and we both have like our side hustles, our shoot jobs, and like beyond that, and trying to balance that and trying to enjoy the summer. I think it's a pretty good one.
I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, been pretty productive. Gone to like see a lot of live music. I still haven't made it to the island yet. I'm planning to. Yeah, it's been good. Been going out quite a lot. I'm enjoying it this year.
Minus the other night when we came home really lit and bought way too much ice cream for
like
no
we need
reason
to not
whatsoever.
do that anymore.
No,
like no ice cream.
Terrible.
Ice cream ban on this house.
I'm not like you were the force.
Are you sure?
You were the driving nature.
For ice cream?
Yeah. We just had shawarma, which was like my vice.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you're like, yo, put ice cream. So yeah, ice cream ban at the BD.
Or at least if we're gonna do it, like get an ice cream bar that rations us rather than just two
like
liter
pints.
tubs.
We need the ninja creamy over here.
No, we don't.
You can make good. You can just put fruit in it or something. You can make good ice cream. Yeah, no more ice cream. But lots of wrestling. There's lots of stuff to talk about. There's a New Japan G1. There was a Blood and Guts. It's an end of an ass. Era.
We'll get
possibly.
into that.
Yeah,
very sad.
There's so much going on in the world of wrestling, and we're gonna talk all about it. We did talk a lot about some other wrestling, talking about some Blood and Guts and the kind of AEW debut of Kota Ibushi, which lets me quickly plug our best match ever Golden Lovers podcast that has now come out over on our Patreon, where Davie and I looked at the best of Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. We kind of go through their entire story. I got to pat ourselves on the back here. We really nerd out over these two and kind of discuss how they became friends over in DDT, reviewed their singles matches, which they've only ever fought three times. And we chat about all three of those, plus some matches from their tag run in DDT and New Japan. So lots of fun matches.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite best match evers, and I think there are certain people, like it is G1 season, and we've said we'd love to do a Tomohiro Ishii best match ever one day, but where do you start? Because there's so many people like Kurt Angle and things like that. So that's why we often like kind of dividing up. Like we've done Shawn Michaels, his first career, and we've done Rey Mysterio like in WWE and outside WWE. So I thought doing Golden Lovers was a way we can talk about. We talked about 8 matches here, 5 tags, 3 singles, and we can kind of focus on that. But, you know, there's like 10, 20 other Kota Ibushi matches that we haven't talked about that are worthy of the best match ever. Same with Kenny. So I really enjoyed this one and highly recommend you go and seek it out.
Yeah, something like that's awesome that we do. And maybe you've not listened to a best match ever or checked it out, is we like compile this list, and Davey, you like go through and there's so many free links to all these matches. We list the matches that we're going to talk about. It's like a whole like playlist of stuff, and then we kind of go through it, give our thoughts, review and rate, and compare to Cage Match, Meltzer, all that stuff. So it's a whole nerd out fest. But when it's something that I like, Kenny and Kota, the Golden Lovers, I get into those guys so much that like it was just a whole blast watching a ton of I watched way too much of their matches this week, but made for a really fun podcast. So go check that out. And if you sign up, you can get access to all the other ones we've done. Like you said, Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio. We've looked at the SmackDown 6 with Way. We've done so many other ones.
Done every Rock Austin match they had against each other.
Oh, Flair Steamboat as well.
Flair Steamboat,
so we've done so many of these.
Misawa Kabashi, Misawa Kawada.
Yeah, so you get access to all these podcasts, and it's only $5. So if you've never given us a chance and it sounds somewhat interesting, go check it out, because you also get movie reviews like our Midsummer review and our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 review that came out last week as well. And You know what it is now, Davey.
It's Shark Week.
It's
officially starts
Shark
today, right?
Week.
It's Shark Week.
Yes, it's
Happy
Shark
Sharks,
Week.
everyone.
And what a great Shark Week. Like, what a way to kick off. There's more shark sightings all around, the New York, New Jersey area, I think.
Okay.
In Florida, there's sharks popping up. People are getting eaten. It's just a great time.
It's a great time. Celebrate sharks.
So, in honor of Shark Week, this upcoming week over on our Patreon, with a special review from the deep blue sea, we will be looking at Jaws. Dun-dun.
Finally, we're coming to the original,
Yeah.
the greatest shark movie, some would say.
Yeah.
We're talking about Jaws.
We already did
It's-
Sharknado.
It's been quite a while since I've watched this film, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And also hit us up with your shark facts at Poisonrana Pod. We love a good shark fact, we always learn. There's so much to learn about these things called sharks, such as, did you know they don't have any bones?
I did not know that, but I have some other ones.
Oh yeah.
12 shark facts that may surprise you. Number 1, sharks don't have bones. Okay, that's good. Number 2, most sharks have good eyesight. Did you know that?
Because of the lack of bones, they can focus on
See
seeing better.
This is from fisheyes.no. I don't know. I'm going to keep reading them, though. Sharks have special electroreceptor organs.
Who doesn't?
Okay. Shark skin feels similar to sandpaper. Sharks can go into a trance. Oh, that's what kicked off Shark Week in a great time. Did you see Cocaine Bear yet?
No.
Well, there's rumors that there's possibly a cocaine hammerhead shark that scientists, so these like drug runners were getting chased and they had to like dump a bunch of shit. They were going to go back for it. But when they came back for it, some of the packages were opened. And when they were like, that's weird, they told some people. So they investigated. And apparently like this one hammerhead shark was like going insane. And like, clearly this is the one that got into
Walking on his tail. And
it turns into a street shark.
fights, yeah.
This hammerhead shark's just like, yeah. That was a good way to kick off Shark Week as well with the cocaine shark. But yeah.
Well, we've got some great shark facts in the room right now from Mr. Jordan Goodman from Detox, such as sharks have teeth.
They do. Yeah, they do have teeth, actually.
Sharks swim.
Do they?
And sharks can be scary sometimes. So some great shark facts right there.
But we got to remember, like, sharks are, people too. And we shouldn't just, like, treat them as, like, bad guys or villains.
Shark people are just the same as you and me. It's a wonderful world.
Yeah, sometimes, like, we're just living in we shouldn't be going into their world, you know? So.
Apparently sharks need to keep swimming or else they die. It's like speed, basically, isn't it?
So they
sharks are just speed.
Yeah, there's been
Jason Momoa loves sharks. I can see that. He looks like a shark kind of guy.
Can he talk to them?
Probably.
Yeah, I've still never seen that movie, but yeah, as the Shark Week kicks off, like, what a great time, because it does feel like I always see shark stuff in the news lately. This summer, there's been a lot. And just searching sharks in Google News, all of a sudden, it's like, experts say cocaine sharks may be feasting on drugs dumped off Florida Key. There you go. See? Cocaine sharks.
Florida, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, forget, you thought you heard everything? Florida man? No. Florida shark.
Florida sharks.
Exactly. So happy Shark Week, and get your reviews in, get your feedback in for Jaws, because we will be looking forward to that this coming week on Shark Week for our Patreon.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you are on the edge, like, shall I sign up or not? We've got a huge month next month coming up as we're celebrating everything kind of British for All In.
Yeah, next month we will be going away for a few weeks, and doesn't mean we're not going to be doing stuff, because we think we're going to be even doing more like road diary stuff on our trip. We booked a few days in Berlin. We're definitely we probably won't have any video for that, but we're going to try to document our whole trip and get ready for All In at Wembley. And we have some shows that are coming out next month that will be cooking for sure, as you'll hear in the next week or so.
So we'll be focusing on that. Up next, we'll still be going ahead, but in our place while we're away will be See No Evil from Shot in the Dark, and be Detroit.
Yes.
Our What Up Doe gang are gonna be taking over up next for a couple of weeks while we're in the UK.
It's gonna be like how the NXT people were just on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Hey, I hope we're not having any plane issues.
Is that yeah, true. Yeah, exactly.
Stranded on a tarmac somewhere. Yeah.
But yeah, so we will be doing up next for the next few weeks, but then we will be taking a little break, and Sino and B will be filling in, I think, on Wednesdays for NXT coverage there for post wrestling. So can't wait for that fun stuff.
Frank suggesting we review Mr. Bean.
Because is that the most British thing?
It's pretty British.
I mean, the other night when we were eating our ice cream, I was like, Davey, I'm so excited to go to London. I can't wait. And then I put on Spice World clips and Austin Powers clips.
It will be exactly like the movies for you. You'll be like, this is just like it.
Go power.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Spice Girl?
I love all of them equally, but as a kid, I was always torn between Ginger and Baby, but like deep down, it's Baby.
I was a Baby Spice kind of guy as a kid.
I told you I met Mel B.
I was also very blonde when I was
right,
kind of
just blondes are, blondes have
and
more
my friend
fun.
was Ginger.
Yeah.
Had a sporty friend.
Right. Yeah, like I liked all of them like equally.
Yeah.
I've told you this before where I accidentally bumped into Scary Spice before when she was going by Mel B.
Right.
And everyone around looked
like, oh, the fucking hell.
No, it's completely the opposite. I was like talking to my friend. I'm like, what? We skipped school and we were at the Eden Center. I'm like, wow, it's really busy around here. I'm trying to get through this like crowd of women. And all of a sudden I bump into someone and everyone's looking at me. And I look over and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, miss. And it's fucking Scary Spice. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And security was like, yo, what the fuck? And I was like, oh. And then it took my brain registered. I'm like, oh my God, you're Scary Spice. She's like, yep.
I saw Mel C play Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Wow.
She was pretty good.
I love all
Mel
of
C has probably got the best voice in the group.
Yeah.
I think.
I Turn to You.
She's still doing pretty
Spice
well.
Girl song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did one with Craig David, I think, as well.
I love all.
Didn't she do one with Sting? Am I making that up?
Steve Borden?
Yeah. Exactly.
Sting World.
Yeah.
Spice Girls.
Spice Girls and Sting.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so we're looking at we're probably not going to review Spice World. I would, or Austin Powers, but we might look at some other British stuff and some throwback wrestling stuff as well. So
absolutely.
Lots of stuff coming over. So go check out patreon.com/Poisonrana. It's only $5. Go support us and buy us a beer and buy yourself some podcasts for our trip.
It's Braden's birthday this Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Buy me a beer.
Buy him a beer.
And you get the gift that keeps on giving of all the podcasts at your at your fingertips.
Well, now shall we just throw back to Wednesday and talk about some AEW Dynamite, some blood and guts?
Yes, let's go through some wrestling and start from last Wednesday from some Dynamite.
So we finally had Hook get his hands on Jack Perry in a match for the FTW Championship, which Jack Perry, no longer Jungle Boy, coming out to some, was this Beethoven?
Yeah. I thought it was Robin Thicke, When I Get You Alone, but it was the original.
Yeah.
Is he always going to come out with the Baltimore playing first? Or is he just?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's
that was the end of it.
Yeah.
I like this music.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's over dramatic, which I think his characters.
I like classical music for entrance music. I think it works.
Yeah.
And is he going by Hollywood Jack Perry, or did I imagine that?
I'm thinking that too. So right now it's just Jack Perry.
Okay.
So that's also okay. But Hollywood Jack Perry works too. I wish I saw people online. Someone edited it to make it him come out to the 90210 theme instead, and I think that would have worked really well, but probably a little bit harder to maybe access that song. But,
Yeah.
and wouldn't really make sense.
No, it's more of a babyface.
Yeah.
So Perry cheating to win here and becoming the new FTW champion. I've not been sold on his heel run so far, but the smile on his face as he was covering Hook, I thought was awesome, and I think we need more of that from this Jungle Boy. It seems kind of, like Dom winning the North American Championship, and I feel Jungle Boy is a very similar character. Obviously,
they're gonna go for that.
Obviously, way better in ring.
Yeah.
But I think that's what they're going for, and I think his like kind of shit promos is gonna start working for him like it worked for Dom.
Right.
So I thought this was pretty fun. to kick things off?
No, I love Jack Perry. I think they should go like into this where he really thinks he gets delusional that he is Hollywood. Maybe he should be going for like auditions and like getting out of, trying to go for B movies or something. Like, I don't know, like if that's the direction, but I loved the finish where he pins him and he's got that smug look. Like I've been using that reaction meme all week. It's so funny. I was into this. I can get into, I don't believe Jack Perry is like a main key player at this point. Like having kind of Ricky Starks be heel at the same time is kind of weird, where two baby faces who are kind of in the same slot are now heels. Like cool, but I have more faith in like kind of seeing where this can go. And call me crazy, I wouldn't mind just putting Jungle Boy back with Christian.
I wouldn't go there yet, because
Right.
I think Jungle Boy does need to stand on his own, and I think
Fair.
as soon as he's with him, like Christian will be taking the lead more.
Yeah.
What I wonder is he going to retire the FTW championship to kind of
okay.
just throw it in the river or the trash
yeah,
or something
yeah.
to disrespect Taz and further that feud? Because Taz on commentary has been very much like, it'll cut to him and he's like, I'm so mad right now, but I've got a job to do. I think he's bridging that pretty nicely with being like upset for his son, but also like, okay, I've got to do my job here. So I could see him like just like disrespecting it by throwing it away.
True.
Or I think the heel thing, where I'm pretty sure like a week or so ago he was saying about it's not even a legitimate title, and now he goes forward with it being like, this is
the real title.
This
This is the world
legitimate.
title.
This is the title in wrestling.
Yeah.
He can go both ways, and I think both will work pretty nicely for him.
Yeah, I like Jack Perry. I know some people. I feel like this is the what he needs to get through. You need to get more comfortable in a character, and he'll become that if he goes through this. So I'm liking it so far, and it did remind me of Dom, because it's like getting a reaction now where people just want to boo him. So it's gonna work.
Do you see Taz getting involved as more of a character in this story?
I kind of hope not. He can't really do physical stuff, right? So
No, but you can talk.
yeah, he is a
You
good
can talk
talker.
a dance like better than Hook can.
Well, I'm
So,
just
like,
wondering, like, it's Jack who kind of needs the talk. It's almost like throw him in the deep end again and see how he can talk as a heel, I guess. Which he sounds better as a heel already. So, but yeah.
Yeah, but good, fun opener here with Jack Perry going over. We also had the blind eliminated tag final with MJF and Adam Cole going over Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara.
Well, Danny and Sammy went over in the dance battle, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's match and everything, including a dance battle, and MJF hitting a tope suicida.
And a
which was
double
awesome.
clothesline.
And the double clothesline to win it.
Yeah, the double clothesline finish was definitely funny. This is like, I hate it and then I love it at the same time, but now I'm definitely leaning into like, oh man, when the breakup happens, it's classic wrestling of it should just not happen.
Yeah,
Call
like,
an audible, change this.
100%. Like, I do not want... I think there's a bigger match than MJF Adam Cole at either All In or All Out. But I think this is so early in this friendship and this team that's way too soon to have them... You'd have to have them break up in like 2 weeks' time till they start this feud. I'd say run with this. You can do the breakup at like... What's the one, like Full Gear, or like save it till later in the year?
Right.
I think would be great. I'm definitely in the camp of enjoying this. I get the criticisms of kind of your world champion doing comedy and stuff, but I think it's getting both guys more over than they were. Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like it shows the shirt, the silly shirt, like sold like an insane amount in the first like few days. I know someone who bought one. I like the angle he makes me laugh. Broken record. He reminds me of like a comedy act. Like he's so well rounded in being on the screen. Like there's something crazy about how he's like what 24, 25. MJF is just amazing. I see this guy dipping wrestling after like 5 years because he's just naturally that funny and believable. But I love this stuff with Adam Cole when it came the dance off. Sure, that actually didn't maybe hit as well for me, but everything else really did. So I see the criticism.
I like the touches as well. Of to start with, it was MJF, making the shirt for them and all that, suggesting the double clothesline, and now it's kayfabe wise, it's Adam Cole who's gone off to Ruckus and got this
the mashup theme, which is lit.
It's going like, where's Cole's music? Where is it?
And it's so funny. Yeah.
So
Pop
all
for
those
that.
little touches are pretty fun.
And the tope, like you mentioned.
Yeah, like I can't wait to actually see MJF as a proper babyface one day. Like he'll have a hell of a run as one.
I mean, this is testing the waters.
We see. I mean, this is like the Mox feud when he was like playing baby as well. But yeah, really enjoyed this, and then seems to play into kind of the fracturing of the JAS as well, because Garcia and Sami seem kind of dejected after it. They seem to like leave Jericho.
I just don't know what how am I supposed to care about Sammy Guevara right now?
Yeah.
Every week I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hate you or like you. So.
This has been the thing with kind of all of Jericho's factions. They kind of just fizzle out, don't they? It's like Inner Circle won't be a thing for months, and then they're like, okay, the Inner Circle are having a match, and like, oh, they are still a thing.
Okay.
And it's been a mess with this, like, you know, I think Daniel Garcia's starting to lean a bit more babyface now in this story. But they just gave his character to Sami for like the last year, and it's definitely not what I want. I want to see Garcia be more of the focus.
I think he is. He gets the reaction.
Yeah.
He gets the react. He has the dance. As silly as it is, the dance is what like got that like sports entertainment thing over, and he'll always have that throughout the rest of his career, which is like a little wrinkle to his character. But like the cream will rise to the top. And again, I'm not bashing Sammy Guevara. I actually think he's really talented as well. But I think Garcia will kind of surpass that. Like his character is more interesting.
Oh, 100%.
And you don't know, you want to boo him, but it's more fun. Garcia's definitely picked up on like little things, because he just did an interview recently. I was just reading, I think on Post Wrestling, shout out Andrew Thompson, I guess, typing that one out for me to read. But I think Daniel Garcia was talking about like, I was like labeled as this boring technical wrestler. I hated that. I look like everyone else. I sound like everyone else. Why would I be put in that? And now I don't think that. Like,
he's definitely like, I think the JAS has helped him,
Yeah.
like learning off of Jericho and things. Whereas I think he'd be in the Yuta role otherwise, wouldn't
Yeah,
he? Which
exactly.
like Yuta's doing well as well, like,
for sure.
But I definitely think this has got the personality out of Garcia. And then seeing, like, I don't know how it will work as a babyface doing the dance for a big move, but it
popped huge. The Shibata match I'll talk about a bit later. Like it got crazy reaction. So eventually he'll be babyface and it'll be fine. But
then what's going on with poor Roddy in his neck as well? He's losing his friend.
okay, I mean, was this set up where it was supposed to make me howl laughing?
I feel
Adam.
Tony's booking this specifically for us.
Yeah.
Like this whole ridiculous body strong
neck brace.
Injury. Yeah.
He's still in a neck brace. Adam Cole just forgot about him. Like, is this all going to turn out that it's Roddy turns on them and splits them up? Like, what the hell's going on here? I have no idea. It's just that made me laugh so much when he's just like, Adam, wait. So Adam's been a dick. He just left him in the dust.
Will we get a vignette? We should get a vignette where now MJF and Cole are like fully bonded. They're not trying to like win each other over, but now Adam wants to introduce his friend Roddy to Max and like trying to get them along.
Right.
A lot of people will hate that. I'd be down.
Just don't show Roddy. What is it? What does he hate? Trunks?
Yeah.
Trunks of cars.
Trunks of cars.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheels is Johnny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Johnny hates
Yeah.
Wheels.
I feel like Tony Khan is just a big fan of NXT, and
Oh, 100%.
it's like, yo, Roddy, you disappeared in a neck brace. You're gonna wear one again
Yeah. It's so
because
funny.
you might disappear again.
And has he had a match since that Jericho one? I'm trying to remember.
No. So it's
And
like,
that match was awesome.
yeah. So it's kind of weird. No. He fought Joe, and then he got beat up by
right.
Joe.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
I would like to see MJF Roddy. I would like to see Roddy wrestle again, and more.
He's got to get his neck better.
Yeah, I guess. I love him in AEW and wrestling, and I want to see more of that. And there's so many other kind of dream matches to hit while he's here. And then he'll get the neck brace on, disappear, and show back up in the Diamond Mine. Oh, Diamond Mine's gone, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
He might be one of the people in the yellow masks.
You know, where's that Cole Carter guy? Two Dimes?
Yeah,
He's
apparently
signed?
he's not on the roster anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that's another story.
Tony D and Stax visiting SmackDown may have saw some ghosts walking in the hallway. If you saw that video, it was pretty deadly. Be even more funny if 2 Dimes were to show up. Imagine
in the
pop.
Sting mask.
Yeah, imagine the pop when he takes off the mask. Everyone's like, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, that was still one of the wildest episodes of Dynamite.
Yeah.
And then we had the main event, Blood and Guts, finally putting an end to this BCC versus the Elite, Golden Elite feud. In my opinion, the best Blood and Guts match we've seen. Some really creative spots here. Great storytelling. I loved the idea of Pac and Takeshita walking out. Although technically, isn't that a forfeit? And the BC and Elite would have just won.
I think they're just like, nah, I'm done. And
Yeah,
they leave. So it's, I don't know. Yeah.
But I thought it made sense because you had BCC as the unit, and these two were like hired mercenaries who are like, no, I've got like these guys are crazy. And although I think the finish was kind of missed on TV, it seemed to be Mox giving up like the rendering for Yuta, who was in that same chokehold that Mox tapped out to with the chain and everything. I thought the storytelling there was really good. And then off air, Kenny kind of cuts his speech where he says he respects them and let's put this to an end, and they all shake hands. So it feels like, especially for Mox, this is end of this feud. We respect each other now. We've bled together. And Mox is probably going to go more babyface moving forwards.
Which I think needs to happen. I don't know if Mox is like quite everyone's like cup of tea. I think this heel run, it was just kind of weird because you want to cheer for this guy and you want to, and he gets the reaction. So it felt a little backwards and it ran a bit long. So I think now like you should go back to babyface because I think you'll fill more seats that way. I think that was a problem. Why wouldn't you use this like big star as position that way?
Also, I think what I love these like big multi-man matches, but it was a big issue with the last pay-per-view. You're putting 10 of your top stars all in one match, and then the rest is a little weak where you might want that big Moxley death match in there or whatever.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Like let's bring in Jun Kasai, let's bring in Despy, let's have some Mox go fucking mental and do some crazy shit, and people will go nuts for it again. I think putting him in this pigeonhole of you're supposed to be the bad guy, but people love to sing wild thing. It's like, clearly this guy is the people's champ, essentially. Like, people want to support this guy. So put him back in another storyline. You don't need to separate the BCC, but maybe let them do their own thing. Claudio's the Ring of Honor champion. Let him do some stuff. Wheeler, take a little backseat nap for a little while. You got beat up a lot. I think
it's fine. Like, this is their dojo, if you know what I mean. BCC. You don't need to have a big breakup thing, but you can have them go off and do different things. They still represent the Combat Club.
Like Moxley Orange Cassidy for the international championship. You know, something like that. Like, that's another big kind of marquee match. I loved this Blood and Guts match. I saw there was like some criticisms with Kota Ibushi. He didn't look necessarily as fucking jacked as he normally does, but I didn't think necessarily he looked bad. But I also didn't think they highlighted him in a crazy way that if you didn't know who he was, you might not really understand how special he is.
Yeah, I think an issue with AEW, and I had this with that Anarchy in the Arena as well, is their production isn't where WWE is. And sometimes WWE is very produced and you know everything's been very deliberately set out, but you don't miss stuff. And I think in these big multi-man matches, especially you're dealing with two rings at a huge cage, it's difficult to catch everything. And I felt like the last Anarchy in the Arena, quite a bit was missed. And if you are someone who isn't aware of Kota Ibushi and this guy's just come in with like a week's notice, and I don't think he did anything. I think people would be like, sorry, what's the deal with this guy? And I love Kota Ibushi, but he didn't, obviously he's dealt with that injury for the best almost 2 years now. Only had a couple of matches back since then. He didn't look in the peak Kota Ibushi shape. Still looks, better than I do. Don't get me wrong.
I'm trying to think. I think the first thing he does though is the moonsault onto the bed of roses, which that definitely got my attention right away. But yeah, I love this match.
There was just a couple of like botched spots as well. Like there was the like bastard driver counter thing, which didn't really work with Takeshita. There was like one of his kicks, which like he missed by like a foot.
Yeah, but again, is that production stuff? That could have been,
It's a bit of both. I didn't think it was a great first impression for Ibushi, but I loved the match, and I think maybe, I think also you kind of sacrifice that big like Kenny and Ibushi really teaming together again, which you would have got in a tag match, and there's so much of his offense he can't really do like in a cage
because he jumps off shit. Yeah,
that aside, I did really enjoy the match, and I really liked the storytelling. I like how, Mox kind of surrendering was a babyface move, and the story is like the Elite are tight, they're friends, like friends and love and all that is what they're saying. And you've got a love for pro wrestling, but you're not together. Like these two other people let you down because they're not part of your team. And I really enjoyed it. This is definitely the best AEW Blood and Guts, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd still say maybe some of the NXT ones were maybe above this, some of the crazier stuff in them. But as far as we were at last year's Blood and Guts, and it was fun, it was cool. But this year, last year had its moments. I remember Eddie coming in and just whacking people with the stick. Got a huge reaction. But I got similar reactions to this, where it's like the guys were coming in and just killing people. When Moxley had the fork, the screwdriver, and the bed of screwdrivers, and
clearly watched that Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, like it was pretty good. So I definitely got into it. And like I thought it was just beautiful that they had Shark Week sponsor it, but I had no idea that when they cut to being sponsored by Blood Services and the Red Cross, I was falling out of my seat laughing. Like bravo to whoever decided to link that together, because that is just beautiful. It's like they couldn't get that pizza cutter one, but they were ahead of the game for this one. They knew.
I loved how commentary were just like laughing as they're doing this read. They're like, you're making us do this now. Yeah. There's just blood dripping everywhere. And we're saying, what was it? A donate blood kind of thing.
So good. So I thought it was pretty good. And I'm excited to kind of see the next chapter, like moving away from this like gang warfare kind of stuff.
So now we've got to get everyone in their big singles roles, right? For whether that be like Kenny getting ready for Osprey, you've got
I mean, we have more
the Bucks hopefully in a serious tag feud coming up.
We have an event for All In the same day. We're having All In it, and we have more stuff planned and booked than Tony Khan has for his Stadium Wembley show.
I think he knows what it like. He must know the card, but you've got to get over these big events. Like now Blood and Guts is over. I feel like next week we'll start getting a sense of what this card is.
Because like the only match announced is for All Out, and it's Darby versus Luchasaurus. So like, where's the All In? Let's go. This week there better be like some matches announced, and you
gotta build story though.
Yeah.
You can't just announce like it's sold. They've sold enough tickets. Like now you start announcing those matches to get like, I don't want to just have a match randomly thrown 3 months out. Like we want the story to build up to it and everything. And we're still like a month out, I think now.
Yeah.
4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Well, it's 27th.
I think come this Wednesday we'll start getting an idea of what all these matches are going to be.
Yeah. At this point, I'm hoping it's not Golden Lovers versus Jericho and Takeshita, but that could possibly be one of them. I think we do see Kenny versus Osprey at Wembley. After Forbidden Door,
do
like, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Like finish that story and kind of thing, because the story with Don Callis and Takeshita and all that isn't over yet, so that continues. I would imagine. So, I'm sure we'll see somewhere. Is it MJF Adam Cole also?
Again, that's like. They got to split them up like next week, which isn't good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Dynamite, but we also had a random ROH pay-per-view this week.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had a chance to see this. I did catch a bit of the main event with you yesterday, but do you want to talk us through Death Before Dishonor?
Yeah, I definitely cherry picked this. I completely forgot that there was a pay-per-view.
I think so did Tony Khan, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the Ring of Honor title match was basically put together with Pac walking out of that Blood and Guts match. TK later on being like, oh, and now he's the challenger. It's kind of like, if there was somewhat of a story, like the match sounds good, but I felt like it really didn't have steam behind it so much that they didn't make it the main event anyways, which I think was the better idea, the better story there.
So there was this like presser with Tony Khan where he basically admitted he had all these plans for Eddie Kingston and didn't really want Eddie Kingston to do the G1 because obviously he'd have been part of that blood and guts match,
right?
And we would assume would be Claudio's opponent as well. But like, if I was Eddie, I'd be like, sorry, you're like, you don't use me for 6 months, and then when it's the G1 and something I want to do, that's when you suddenly have creative plans for me. Nah, I'm going to Japan. I'm living my dream.
Yeah.
So, but that definitely threw it. But yeah, this was like the most thrown together ROH card so far, it feels.
I felt that way. I cherry picked through some of it today or yesterday on Fight, and I watched Gravity versus Commander, and I was like, wow, there's a guy named Gravity. I'm like, huh. I wonder if and before I could even think it, they were like, oh, by the way, Gravity is gonna face the guy that Gravity forgot.
So, like, I know there
week.
was all that discourse when they announced Kenny versus Vikingo as a dream match. They announced this as a dream match, and I feel I know kind of what's going on. Yeah. I've never heard of this fucking
Gravity.
Guy. He's wearing Axiom's mask.
Yeah.
And yeah, but how was he? Was he good?
He was good. He beat Commander, which I was like, okay, well, like for someone to just come in, and this guy, Commander's not won anything since coming into AEW. It was a pretty fun lucha match. But what else? Joe beat Dalton Castle. That was all right. Aussie Open are the new Ring of Honor tag team champions.
Nice.
So
okay.
Mark Davis is back from his injury, so him and Kyle Fletcher in this 4-way. The Lucha Brothers lost the titles to Aussie Open, who said they're taking over Ring of Honor. They've now signed with AEW / Ring of Honor?
That's great. Like, I'm glad Mark Davis was injured. Yeah, I'm glad he's back because this is a great tag team, and I think we'll go on to like FTR's promo in a little bit. But I'm happy for them. That's great.
Happy for the Lucha Brothers because I think they didn't want to keep working this Ring of Honor taping because they do other stuff on the weekends, like lucha shows and stuff.
Absolutely.
So it kind of makes sense for them to drop those titles as well. I like Aussie Open, so I'm interested to see them down the line, and that might be another like they were doing interviews saying about how they wanted to be in Japan, but they didn't get that offer. So Tony Khan slipped them the deal, nice. And they went with that. So I wonder if that is also a chip for, hey, Ospreay, you want to sign in another year or so?
Well, the thing is with Ospreay is he's just said he doesn't want to move to the States.
Right.
That's a big part of it. And if you're doing, like, he might be more on you see it with Pac. Pac disappears for 7 months and then comes back because he doesn't want to live there. He wants to live in the UK. So I think that's going to be a big factor with Ospreay. But he's such a special talent. I don't mind him being these kind of, Brock Lesnar kind of deal, like just coming in for those big matches and stay doing Japan as well. How was the Daniel Garcia Shibata?
Yeah, that was really fun. I'm still not completely sold on rounds matches and stuff. I just rather prefer a singles match. Call me crazy, call me whatever you like. But I really got into this as well. The highlight is when Shibata, Garcia does the dance to stop like a move, and Shibata just like looks disappointed. So he does his sit down cross-legged thing, and like Garcia who's a huge fan of Shibata, has done the sit down spot many times. So goes to do it, but dances as he sits down, and then like Shibata's even more disappointed, and then like
sounds like us at a bar when we're like going to sit down, grooving.
So like the one finishes where he gets put in the sleeper and he's dancing as he like fades. So very funny, but also like the wrestling matched really well. But my only criticism would be like I want to see it as an actual one-on-one singles match, which you could just put on a Dynamite. But I mean, I think the highlight of that comes from the presser as well, where Shibata used a voice translator app to talk and speak, and used like, "Thank you, Tony Khan, for revigorating my love for pro wrestling.
Thank you for booking me."
Thanks
for believing. I work for doesn't, but thank you.
Or thanks the doctors, I guess. So that was pretty fun, and I love Shibata being kind of in this role in Ring of Honor. But I would like to see more from those guys because that was a definite highlight from this show. I did skip a few of the other matches, but I did check out Claudio versus Pac. Again, great match. They went under like 20 minutes there, but huge table bump from Pac for no reason, which I was like, that's scary. But again, wrestling was crazy. We do NXT. We've been covering NXT for quite a long time, and we do a show called Was Next, where we're currently kind of in between the Sami Zayn Cesaro feud from the famous NXT feud. And it's interesting because Pac, who is Neville there, was around the same time and never really...
So I'm looking, and the only match they had in WWE, we've talked about on Was Next.
Right.
It was 21st of March, 2013.
Wow.
So that was when they both had first names as well.
Yeah.
Adrian Neville versus Antonio
Cesaro.
And the only other match they've had... singles, they've had a PWG match and a Shikara match, both in 2007.
That's wild.
So it's kind of crazy because they were both in the company for quite a while together, and that these two haven't matched up. They had a 1 6-man tag where they were partnering each other as well. So that's it. So kind of I saw some jokes about like, oh, I'd have cool, what a main event. It's two guys who are mid-card nothing in WWE like going at it, but they never actually had a match, so I'm sure they matched pretty well.
They did. I think being a pay-per-view title match put together like a day or two before is kind of just lazy, and I think I saw through that. At least I couldn't get as interested in it,
especially when you're trying to get people to pay for this thing. And I think I need to cancel my Honor Club subscription, but we don't watch the weekly TV, but in the past we've been like, okay, all right, you've announced Briscoe's FTR, I'll put my money down for that.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to get high quality wrestling. However, now when you've got a G1 going on, you've got Collision going on as well, there's so much that I can't really see myself paying $20-$30 for a pay-per-view.
No.
You haven't told me any of the matches.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There was some good wrestling on it. It ended with the main event of Athena taking on Willow Nightingale for the ROH Women's title. This was the best match that I watched.
Yeah, I watched most of this. This was pretty good.
Yeah, lots of callbacks from both women to like a lot of older women's wrestling through the years. It was like almost a little tip of the hat to that. There was some great stuff in this match. I really love Willow Nightingale. She's become one of my favorite wrestlers on AEW, Ring of Honor, whatever it may be. I'm kind of happy she didn't win this title because I'd rather keep her on AEW as one of their kind of ace up the sleeves.
Yeah, I really feel that kind of Mercedes injury and the audible with her going over has kind of propelled her maybe quicker than she was going to be, because I think she's definitely one of the better ones there, and everyone seems to love her. Like, she gets great reactions, and I thought her and Athena worked really well. I'm baffled by, look,
Athena, your favorite.
If you've been listening to me for years, you know I'm not a big Athena fan, but the wrestling is there, and I definitely feel this heel character works so much better than her being this corny baby face. And it just confuses me why you're just keeping her solely to ROH. Claudio's on both shows.
Yeah.
Like, and I think when this women's division needs that, like, those strong veteran women wrestlers. I think there's a lot of potential there, but there's a lot of green week women's wrestlers in AEW. Let's say it how it is. Why you're not using Athena more, especially with this new character which works so well.
And her wings, they look good finally.
Yeah.
They looked really good.
So yeah, I part of me wanted to see Willow win to move it, like, Athena into AEW, but yeah, they need to fix this women's division. This
has to be like one of the best women's matches AEW's put out, or whatever. Yeah. I'm calling it AEW. This is Ring of Honor is now what? They're NXT?
NXT, yeah.
That's how I see it, right? So, like, cool, because there was a lot of good wrestling on the show. I don't think anyone was like, oh, this was terrible or anything, but there should be a little bit more, like, cohesiveness of, don't just randomly throw it together. Or is that what Ring of Honor used to be? And they're like, fuck it, I'm going to do that anyways. Mm-hmm. And there's more people at these events than there was at any other Ring of Honor shows before. True. So, like,
it's true.
Really, I don't know. It is quite interesting. But that was honestly a really awesome match. Would recommend if you haven't checked it out, because we watched it, but it was really good. You're right, though. Athena should be featured on AEW. She can wrestle circles around all these other women. So, like, this week,
Blood and Guts was going to be an hour long, but we just had a completely unnecessary 1 minute Britt Baker match, which led to absolutely nothing.
To let people go, is Sasha coming up? No, she's not.
Yeah. Well, let's go to Collision, which happened last night, and we had we opened with a bit of a promo segment.
A bit of a promo, a long.
Our main event, which I didn't mind this. I wondered if this is they didn't announce a CM Punk match ahead, but I'm wondering if this is a way to condition people by being like, hey, you might get a CM Punk match.
Yeah.
Even if we don't announce it, you might get it.
Yeah, they basically promoted it like, hey, CM Punk is here and he's looking for a fight, is what how TK promotes CM Punk now. He's looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Meaning, I'm going to book a match, I just don't know it yet.
I quite like Ricky's promo. I thought he sounded good in this kind of new heel role. Just kind of, we've seen him in this role before, like when he was in Team Taz, but just amping up a bit. I thought he sounded pretty good. Darby wasn't so sure. I prefer when he's being moody and broody rather than being like, I'm going to partner my friend CM Punk. Like,
you know what? I watched this this morning and I thought everyone sounded terrible except Christian. Right. I think CM Punk is on borrowed time. I think he has to do this. He's contractually obligated. He's fucked. He has to do this now. I think he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I genuinely think that he's getting mediocre heel heat by dissing the New Jersey Devils. Like, you're doing what every wrestler does ever. You're not, to me, I thought he sounded not good. I'm not a huge Ricky Starks fan, but when he talks, oh man, like you can't not enjoy him. He's so good. The joke about the bag had me laughing. But then Christian comes in, and once again, Christian fucking Steen Sealing goes, what kind of a man calls himself a champion? And it's like, obviously knows what he's saying, right? 100%. Like, oh man. So I didn't think, I love Darby, but I can't get behind of him as being a main event guy, the guy when he cuts promos like this.
I don't think he's a character that really needs to talk a whole lot.
Yeah, and he still chooses to.
I've liked him when he's like, just says minimal stuff.
He's so boring. Imagine you see a fight happen in the street, right? And these guys are, you son of a bitch, let's go. You and this, hold on a second. When I was a kid, I was depressed. Shut the fuck up. Like, what is this? This is wrestling.
Like, I felt like here he's having too much fun, and I don't think Darby's a character who has fun.
Just fight people. I don't know. I felt this was a little messy, all to set up Ricky, who's now a heel, but Punk then disses Jersey's hockey team, so then he's getting booed, and then Darby comes out, they're kind of cheering him, and then Christian comes out and they're booing him. So it's like, who am I supposed to like here? Because you all sound miserable bad guys. So I'm like, I thought this was really confusing, all to promote the tag match, which then felt like it went on for like quite a long time at that main event.
Yeah. I disagree about Punk. I do genuinely think he wants to wrestle, and I don't think he would be back at all if he didn't want to. And
he comes off as the bad guy.
Oh, he should be heel, 100%. I agree with you there, but I don't think he doesn't care. I don't think he's waiting out his contract, because I do think he'd be gone by now. And the talks of him, leading this like locker room meeting the other day and talking about how they want to differentiate Collision and stuff. You wouldn't be doing that if you didn't care and you're just there for the paycheck. I don't think. We did have a trios championship match. It seems like they've done away with the house rules. No mention of that. Remember when House of Black were doing that when they were doing trios matches 2 months ago?
Yeah, they did it like once or twice. And then...
but the big story here is the Daddy Ass taking the pin here, losing, and taking his boots off, leaving them in the ring. Is Billy Gunn done?
Damn. Yeah, is this the one and done? The one gun and done. End of an ass era here. Is it? It's kind of weird, but also I guess I don't know what else. It seems like it's wrestling, so it's over the top. But
we could build to a retirement match, maybe.
Because why would you do of an angle that you had he eats the black mass, and after the match, briefly you see them go hey, cheers, thank you. So and then obviously the Acclaim have their moment, and then commentary great tag team wrestling career there for whatever. And I'm like, okay, that seems then legit. I don't know what other way would you possibly bring this.
I really liked it, and I like how, because the commentary were going, oh, maybe it wasn't respect. Maybe he was going, you're done. Like, and I think Daddy Ass, like, he cares about the Acclaimed, and he's like, I'm letting these kids down.
Then just be their manager again,
bro. I can't hang anymore. I quite like the story, and to think, like, you know, I'm gonna unnecessarily shit on Matt Hardy here.
Yeah.
I think if Matt Hardy did this angle now, we wouldn't care at all. Billy Gunn, who I think has been a lesser character than Matt Hardy over the years, has had such a great run with the Acclaimed and still looks great, I think.
Jack Ken.
Yeah, I like, and the crowd really got into this. I genuinely kind of cared about this.
So,
angle.
like, yeah, is it just he's done and that's it? He's going back to the Fed?
Bowens and Caster have to talk to him.
Sean's like, bro, I got you a gig. Come back, come home. And he's like, guys, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Or is this all angles where there's videos to get him back, you know, back in the ring? They do win the titles. Like, they get a retribution angle against House of Black. That's one of the all-in trios matches with him coming back. I don't know, but at this moment, we got to pour one out for Daddy Ass.
Pour one out.
Best match ever, Billy Gunn.
I guess so. If he is done, if he is truly done,
he's truly he's been through so much. He was a gun. He was
gay.
He was gay. He was a New Age outlaw.
Yeah.
He was in DX.
Yeah.
He was the one.
Yeah.
We talked about how he was gay. We talked about how he was. No, he wasn't the biker. The other
Chuck Palumbo was a biker.
Sorry,
yeah.
what else was he then?
That's like his bum.
Yeah. He was an ass man. Of course. How could I forget that? He was King of the Ring.
He was King of the Ring.
But my name's Billy. It doesn't matter. Best moment of his career. I knew he wasn't even a part of it.
Yeah.
The Rock shitting on him. I loved him as Daddy Ass. I don't want it to be over.
Well, I think there's definitely more to come from this.
It's more ass
Absolutely.
in this to squeeze.
We also had FTR interviewed here and kind of just saying about how MJF and Adam Cole are a bit of a joke, telling Adam Cole not to trust MJF because he is the devil and will stab you in the back. But kind of it's like, hey, these aren't even a real tag team, and then they're having dances in their biggest match. So, what I did find interesting was they were like, we've got unfinished business with the Acclaimed, Aussie Open, and the Young Bucks, real tag teams.
Oh.
I'm wondering if this is a little tip to maybe all in or all out, whether we're doing like a 4-way with all 4 of these teams, or, you know, one team on one team on another. But I want this tag division to start getting a bit more serious again.
I agree.
Because
and it has been.
Yeah, but
last week's tag
got
match,
a bunch of, you know, makeshift teams all the time going for it. When this company started, you had so many tag teams.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, LAX Power and Powerful have not been on TV for a long time. I don't know Santana's status still. He's been injured for well over a year now.
Right.
But they were a team that should have got a shot at some point, you know. You've got Lucha Brothers coming back. You've got Best Friends there. You've had all these like proper tag teams, but I think, I'm down for especially the Bucks. The Bucks need to have a serious tag feud again.
I know it's going back to the well, but that should just be all in, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. Bucks and FTR. Please do it.
And I think Aussie Open being healthy again now, that's great. That's going to add something to this division. Because when this company started, this really felt like a tag team wrestling company where you can headline pay-per-views with a tag title if you wanted to. And it hasn't quite been like that for a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe we'll get, like, again, people were praising last week's tag match that was like almost an hour long. They got the rub there of like, hey, this is being treated special.
I can see them getting a shot as well again, whether it be in a multi-man or something. Like McGuinness says, well, they won the first 4, which means they would have won if it was a normal match. Right. Kind of putting that thing on there as well.
Hey, McGuinness could be wrestling it all in too.
Do you think?
I don't want to sound like I just don't think I would. That's not a big draw. Yeah, don't do it, man. Just let it go, please.
When he was in NXT, you know, that WWE released that documentary about him and how basically he couldn't wrestle because he couldn't afford to get a certain surgery he needed to when signing with them or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I I think then would have been a good time. I think it's way too far gone now.
Yeah,
in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
I hope All In though is FTR and the Bucks.
I'd love
If you think maybe a multi-man, like the Lucha Brothers should be involved in that card as well somehow. So there's a few other like options that you could go for in there. Shout out Fire Frank in the chat reminding me that. Oh, sorry, Rob Rorb saying don't forget about Billy Gunn in the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Oh, of
how
course.
could I forget when he was Kip in
Yeah.
TNA? Yeah.
And Brandon Van saying Dax came across as the no fun police. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Stop
yeah.
with this scissoring nonsense and have more wrestling is what he said. He probably mentioned his daughter or something too.
Yeah. And then we had a women's match on the show, Taya Valkyrie versus Sky Blue. Taya Valkyrie going over, and after the match, calling out Britt Baker. She's basically said, you beat an extra on Wednesday. Was I beat someone a bit more legitimate in Sky Blue? Let's do it. We haven't fought before. So Taya kind of turning heel during this match against Sky.
Yeah,
which is a role way better suited for her, I think.
Yeah, Frankie Monet.
Yeah.
Never forget. Where's her dog? Remember the dog?
Yeah, what was its name? Fluffy Balls? I don't know.
Barry? Something with an F. No. Percy? What was Frankie Monet? Someone in the chat's gonna know. Fire Frank's in the chat. He'll let us know. What was the name of that dog?
Yeah.
Frankie Monet's dog. NXT. I think she's a better heel. Presley. I think she's better as a heel, but it's like unfortunate that like Sky Blue's kind of become one of their like homegrown talents that's growing, and it kind of puts us like halt to that again. But I guess they have bigger plans for Taya. But
I really like Sky Blue. I think she's really impressing me in ring. I am not a fan of Taya Valkyrie's in ring work. I often find she works kind of slow, and it's like she's working in slow motion a lot of the time, I feel. And I thought this was one of her better matches, and I put a lot of that down to Sky Blue. Taya's got some impressive size on her, and I think having a smaller opponent worked a lot better. Her like the slow speed wasn't so bad against Sky because she's dominating her more. And I think this is a way better role for her to be in a a heel role for sure.
yeah.
So her versus Britt, but yeah, there's still women's division still has a lot to be desired, I think, in AEW.
Which like we have talented people in there and there's stories, but I just don't know. Like I don't mind Toni Storm as the heel champ with Saraya in her corner, because I think that's the way. It's better that way than having Saraya who never wrestles anyways. So
my thing is it's like a catch-22 in a way. Like to get these characters more over and for them to get better in ring, you need to give them more TV time.
yeah.
But also, in my opinion, you've got a 2-hour show. I want to watch the best. And in WWE, I'd put a lot of women in that company as the best. I want to be watching Becky Lynch. I want to be watching Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair and the like. I would put so many stars in AEW above majority of the women's roster, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's not me shitting on women's wrestling. It's just a fact of where the women are positioned. And you got a 2-hour Dynamite. Would I rather see Adam Cole, MJF, Kenny Omega, John Moxley, the Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, House of Black over Taya Valkyrie? Yes, I would. And it is something where maybe try and make Collision or something a bit more women's heavy. Like use one of the show you've got. Like make Rampage at this point a all women's show to get the time and get the these characters bigger, because they can get there. Like we saw WWE's women's division was in the fucking mud for forever.
Right.
And then they made a conscious effort of trying to build it up, and now you got stars. But as I said, personally, I'd kind of rather watch some of the other talent there.
Yeah, and it's like, look, they have some of it. They've created Britt Baker. They that became a huge character there. Her wrestling kind of felt like it slipped for me recently. We lost steam with Jamie. We have Tony. I think Tony, again, proper Tony Khan problem, not just Tony Storm here. Tony Khan's problem is You're a champion? Cool. Now we don't care about you.
Yeah.
That's such a problem. Tony should be coming out cutting promos of herself. Being like, look at these other bitches. They're nothing compared to me. I'm Tony Storm. Just like nothing. She never talks. She doesn't do anything. She has a match at a pay-per-view and then goes, oh, I'm still the champion.
To be fair, this week isn't the best week because you have got an hour-long match as like your main event. So there is a lot less time for everyone. Like but Tony, it is an ongoing thing, right?
Like the Outcast, Tony should come out, wrestle a non-title match, beat Sky, beat someone, whatever, and then cut a promo and be like, yo, like this division is weak. I'm beating everyone. And then Jamie comes back and you set up that match. Boom. Announce that for All In.
Depends what Jamie's status
right?
is.
Yeah,
like, we haven't seen her since the injury.
Treat your stars like how they should be treated. I think they really mishandled the Hangman story, and I don't think they like bounced back properly from stories that like really important big stories because their movie ended. That season ended, and their season after was just not as hard hitting because it's like, well, now what do we do? He's champ.
Your champions, especially, not necessarily your like TNT International, TBS, but your main two champions, like your men's, your women's, and your tag, should have a proper segment every week.
Yeah.
Whether it's a meaningful promo or
whether you're not even there, but like
meaningful match, something. They should have some big presence. And you're completely right. As soon as Hangman won it, he was like buried in the middle of the show.
It's like, put him in a tag match. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
All they do is that. I'm still, I think now going forward with a month out to the All In, which we now know is gonna air like live on TV at some way, shape, or form. There's gonna be some big matches announced for those two shows, All In and All Out, and I'm hoping that this week and then the week following we do get into that next chapter. We finally moved away from some stuff, so finally, like, let's kick into gear and go like full gears of what we can do with this company and 70,000 people screaming in a stadium. Like what are they going to deliver to that? So I'm still super into it, but there is still a lot that I like grown at. And when it comes to like a Rampage, which I did not watch at all, a Collision I cherry picked through, I still really love. Dynamite is still my must watch show. I have to watch it. So they still have me. They still got me, and they won't lose me. But like, there's some things that really I scratch my head at sometimes.
I think in a way, like the talk about having more pay-per-views in the year. I kind of think Tony's booking lends to that. A month to like you build to Blood and Guts, then you're building to All In, then you're building to this, then you're building to that.
Yeah.
Because there's so long a gap between things where he kind of rests on things because I've got a lot of time. We'll do a few TV things, and then it's come up. I better rush and put it together now. So,
just like,
whereas if it's just like 4-week booking for a pay-per-view for a big event, move to the next one, it might actually suit his style a bit better.
Because like the way things are going, we're getting All In. It's Punk versus Starks and MJF versus Adam Cole. Like that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Looking at the booking, this far out. So, and that doesn't necessarily like,
it's not as big a card as you could do. No. Then we had the main event, which was Christian Cage and Ricky Starks taking on Darby Allin and CM Punk, with Ricky Starks winning with the roll up and the hand on the ropes again.
Fool me once, can't get fooled again. Well, he did. Yeah, I did like that finish. I think it's pretty funny. But again, it's like, who am I supposed to be rooting for here? Because I am happy that Punk everyone wants to cheer Ricky because they're like, oh, the young up and comer guy that was a babyface, but now they're forcing that he's cheating. But we're like, but we want you to be the winner. We want you to be the good guy. So really, it's kind of backwards. It should have been Punk cheating, being like, I'm smarter than you. I've done this for years.
I do think it kind of makes sense. I think Punk coming back shouldn't be in this babyface role. And I think after the like that Toronto Heat and everything, they should have just gone with it and had him turn. But I don't dislike Ricky being heel either. I think it does make sense. He's a guy who's been, his whole time in AEW has been on the cusp of breaking out, but there's always been people just that tier above him. So now it's like, fuck it, I'm taking things into my own hands. I'm going to beat the top star in the company. Will I cheat? I got away with it. So I don't mind it. I kind of like it. This match was a bit long for me.
So fucking long.
It seems to be the different thing with Collision is they're going for, longer matches. Like Dynamite this week aside is normally, you know, like 6 matches, something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Collision's been like 3 or 4.
Right.
So you get these longer main events, but this one didn't really do it for me.
No. Last week's was great, but this week, like, why did this match need to go this long? I don't think it needed to. I like Ricky Starks. I like him being a heel, but I just asked, is that an exciting pay-per-view all-in match? No, it's not. So that kind of settles that feud for me.
I like that spear to Darby midair, like to the leg. I thought that looked pretty cool.
I think he messed it up.
No, I know, but he looked great. He was Medicat, but kind of just speared his leg, and I thought he looked pretty cool.
I like his pyro that they claimed was $100,000.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, with the Cody pyro.
I mean, so he's the one who's gonna jump to WWE, right? Like, he's the one closest to Cody. I think he's the one that would. That's why they have to put him in these positions, or else he's not re-signing.
I'm starting to enjoy Collision. Timing wise, it kind of sucks because I'm scrambling to watch it after a night shift and then before doing this. But I am enjoying it. It does have a different feel to Dynamite, which is good. It should feel different. In general, I like that they're giving. This match didn't do it for me, but I like that there's, you know, a bit more focus on ring time. It's kind of like a no frills TV show. I feel like it's a bit more kind of meat and potatoes wrestling. But I think I want to see a few more angles going forward, a bit more story than just Punk and things and Andrade with his mask. But it's getting there. I am like enjoying this show. I don't think it's much must see yet though. But yeah, they've announced. So this whole Malachi Black Andrade feud over a mask is leading to a ladder match with Buddy Murphy.
So Buddy Murphy versus Andrade in a ladder match with a mask?
Why is this not Malachi? That's been the feud.
I don't understand.
It'd be a good match. Don't get me wrong. Buddy Murphy, Andrade sounds great.
Just like, what? In a ladder match? And they don't do single ladder matches too often. No. So I'm like, kind of weird. Yeah.
It'll be good.
I'm sure it'll be good. It just, I should be way more into that than, like, because you did it over a mask. And I'm like, this is.
Yeah.
And he shows up to Collision and they kick him out. He's like, wait, this isn't Dynamite. What day is it? Why am I getting kicked out of here? What's going on?
It felt like that was a play on the Sammy Guevara thing.
Which he got kicked out?
Well, yeah, he was saying, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna punch you in the face when I see you. And then he turned up and they were like, no, you gotta go home.
Oh, okay.
And then we didn't see him for a year.
Right.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was like a tease on.
Well, Andrade would eat him, I think.
Yeah. That's why they were like, go home.
This week's Dynamite's got Darby versus Swerve. So you know those two will definitely
Darby Swerve
hit.
and Orange versus AR Fox, which I think will actually be really good.
Okay, yeah.
International.
Also, John Moxley and Claudio versus Lucha Brothers versus Best Friends.
Okay.
So.
And then next week, Collision has the ladder match, and what was the other match they announced? I can't remember.
No.
But I thought Collision looks pretty good next week, and I think that ladder match would be decent. But yeah, I think I'm higher on Collision than you are. It's just there's a lot.
There's a lot of wrestling. I really loved last week's because it was just a really good match. But
you've got the tag match next week. MJF
oh, sorry.
and Cole.
Yeah. That's probably when the thing happens, right?
I think what
like Roddy comes out, costs him the match, and there's a breakup.
Do you think there's a chance they can win?
They should, and then lose it to someone else, and I don't know.
Yeah. I think what you could do more of is because Collision are kind of giving like these main events time. Do more things that you're building up on Dynamite, like this tag match.
Yeah.
You want that match, you've got to tune in Saturday night and have it feel like, you know, the big main events on a Saturday night that you got to go seek out, but have it built more on Dynamite rather than Collision building their Collision feuds. And I think that's where this tag match could do. I think they could do one of their better numbers next week with these two.
Yeah, for sure. And that double clothesline.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move over to Japan, to the G1, which I'm pretty much up to date with. I've got to finish last night's show. I've seen about 4 matches from it so far. I'd say I still haven't had that like absolute blow-away match in this tournament yet, but I've been enjoying keeping up with it so far.
Yeah, I agree. I love the 20-minute time limit, but maybe that's a factor that like it's new still that we can't get into that like second gear because we know there's only like such limited time, but it's also still like the first like week of this. So maybe they're not necessarily.
I think with that though, it's made these matches get so much more exciting when they hit 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Where think before 15 minutes, you're halfway through the match. And whereas now it's like there's this really exciting sprint in the last 5 minutes.
It's like a real sport.
And we've had quite a few draws already in the tournament, but also had those teases where someone's pinned with like 30 seconds to go. So I'm loving that 20-minute thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely still just cherry picking. I loved some of the ones we talked about last week, but just before recording here, you recommended Ishii versus Shingo, which obviously those guys never miss. And
didn't hit for me quite.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like,
as their previous ones. Like a few years ago, they had one of my favorite matches of the year. It was on our short list. But
anytime these guys fight, it's usually noteworthy. This one was good, but it definitely didn't like get to like any next level. At least I thought probably one of the better matches I've watched from this tournament thus far. Again, only a few days into it, but I didn't quite get to where I thought it was. What else did we?
For me, I think my match of the tournament so far has been Shingo Hanare, which was just
okay. I just watched that.
Felt fresh. Like I hadn't seen a whole lot of Hanare.
Yeah.
I think Shingo kind of brings the best out of him. Just really heavy hitting, some great like headbutt sequences, and just felt fresh and a proper G1 match. I really got into that. I've also really been enjoying watching the Three Musketeers, Yoda Tsuji, Ren Narita, and Shota Umino.
The cosplay trio.
Yeah, in all of their matches so far. Same with Kiyomiya, who it just feels fresh, and they're all four of them are very good. I think Tsuji has this awesome charisma. Like I definitely see him being.
He looks freaky sometimes.
I think he's the one that will be the first to like really break out.
Okay.
Of the three. But yeah, been enjoying that, and I love how they've just been drawing against each other
because they're on the similar. They're the pillars.
Plane, yeah.
They're the Musketeers, right? Yeah. I've been enjoying Shingo. I've been enjoying the G1 tournament at postwrestling.com. Now that I'm on the board.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm like, you're like winning right now.
Am I right at the top?
I'm pretty sure. I had it open there a second ago, but I was like fourth or tied with someone, or I'm not sure, but me and Brandon seem neck and neck. But yeah, I enjoyed. We talked about Eddie and Shingo last week, right?
Yeah, I found Eddie so far in this tournament. I think maybe because this is such a like he loves this Japanese style of wrestling and everything. I find him overacting and overselling a lot, and it's kind of taking me out of it a bit.
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love those big matches where you get that crazy like chop exchange and forearms and you're screaming and hulking yourself up. This seems every match though, and it's getting. Who was the second match again? I'm trying to remember who it was again. There was one where he was just so over the top with his selling of his knee and his limping around and his facial, and it's taking me out of it a little bit. But he does seem to be getting really popular with this Japanese crowd.
Yeah,
Kevin Kelly was saying they had like a signing the other day, and everyone wanted to see Eddie Kingston.
Whoa,
which is pretty awesome, and he's living his dream right now.
Yeah, he's probably going to Ribera. Yeah. Hanging out with Cardona, maybe.
Yeah,
who was there?
Is he over there right now?
Cardona was there this morning for DDT. It was there, but yeah, it's still kind of in the early stages, and nothing necessarily like blew me away. I did agree. I thought Hanare and Shingo was pretty good. He's an interesting one. We were talking about his face tattoo last week. I love how he walked into a tattoo shop and was like, "Yeah, I'm looking to get my first tattoo." They're like, "Oh, cool. Where are you gonna get it?" On my fucking
all
face.
Across my face.
Oh, okay, like a teardrop tattoo? No. Like a fucking like a face
beard.
Guard, yeah.
Tribal beard.
I have a feeling he's gonna get more tattoos that like make it. Maybe it's just like, how do you walk around in public like that? How do you shave like that? How do you what the hell?
I mean, it's all a cultural thing. It's like,
of course, yeah. I'm not knocking it at all.
It's but, like quite an honor or whatever, from what I've heard, for him to be like having this on him. But it is just funny that he doesn't even have like, a little one on his wrist or anything.
Yeah, first one. It's like Cody Rhodes.
I was gonna say, we thought the neck tattoo of Cody was extreme, but this is a lot. But it's such a better look for him though, as a wrestler. Like the shaved head and he looks way more menacing now than when he had his little mustache.
He looks like a James Bond villain now
Yeah,
with this
he's
tattoo,
scary.
but yeah.
I love that we're getting quarterfinals in this one. I think it means a lot more can happen. I think you can have a lot more interesting matches. It means someone like a Zack Sabre Jr. is more of a player this year than usual, and his whole thing is I want to make the playoffs. Like
right.
I never kind of make it, and he's I think won all his matches so far. I think. So yeah, I've been able to keep up on it. I've been watching it on my phone while I go on my walk, kind of killing two birds with one stone, which has been pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been enjoying it, but I'm waiting for that real big match. I thought Okada and Taichi had a really good match. I thought Ospreay and Taichi, Ospreay and Taichi had a really good match as well. Taichi's been impressing me, and obviously Ospreay is always fantastic. But yeah, we'll be. Are you still behind Shingo to win? I don't know if that's happening.
No, I think you saw Naito with his entrance where his music restarted, so he went back up the ramp. I was like, Jesus.
I skipped Naito entrances.
Yeah, I skipped Naito.
Life's
most
too
things.
short.
Yeah. I think you're right. It must be Naito, but I just don't care about Sonata as champ either. So I'm still just cherry picking the G1. So always welcome to recommendations. But as it goes on, it gets more serious and better anyways. Yeah. So I'll definitely still be checking it out.
I think those quarters and semis, like we'll have some really good matches there.
Absolutely.
All right. Over to some potential NXT news. It seems that Brian Pillman Jr. has departed AEW, and there's some rumors that
big opportunities.
Maybe he's making his way to the Fed.
Wow, you imagine that. Brian Pillman's kid is going to be working with Shawn Michaels.
I mean, he's going to be with Brooks and Jensen, no. Like
that's where you put him?
Team.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah. That's 100% the team.
Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
American kids.
Yeah.
I mean, Briggs is older, but yeah, that'd be pretty funny. They're pretty much Brooks and him are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, Brooks is better.
Absolutely.
He comes in, has a story with Kiana
Who's
James.
got the better flow though?
Pillman's is good, but I don't know, like
Pillman's got the better.
Jensen's glow up's been pretty good. It's been nice to watch over the year.
See, the thing with Pillman is like your dad's Pillman, so everyone just like looks at you that way. He dresses like him, he looks like him. Like no one knows Brooks is B2's kid.
No,
Bull Buchanan. You don't even know who that is. So it's like he's got a lot more like freedom to just be whatever. But that would be interesting. You know what? I think I didn't have much interest in Pillman Jr. before. I did, however, root behind him, especially after the Dark Side.
Yeah.
I felt like AEW dropped the ball on not capitalizing on that. They did the MJF. We went to that Grand Slam. That was cool, but then like really didn't do much with him afterwards. Is it because like he didn't put the time in or the work in, or the other way around? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. I think it's the thing with AEW not really having a developmental. I mean, you mentioned ROH is kind of their NXT. It is and it isn't. It's ROH seems to be like, yeah, some people they want to develop, but also people they don't know what to do with in AEW.
Yeah.
But you look at these ROH weekly TV shows, and it's just match after match after match after match. It's not like you're giving many people that time to develop on, promos and things like that. And as much as we laugh about some of the awful skits in NXT, go back to a Brooks and Jensen, how much they've come on, because they've been kind of relentless with these guys on, nope, we're going to have you working promo segments every week and vignettes, and we've seen them improve. And that is such a part of wrestling as well. It isn't just what's between the ropes, right?
Yeah.
And I think Pillman Jr., who came in really just with his name, he had been doing MLW for a bit, but wasn't really, he was pretty green, both on mic and in ring, comes in and just is working TV matches right away, and then has that feud with MJF. I don't really think they gave him much of a chance to develop. Therefore, I think an NXT would actually be really beneficial for him.
Yeah, he's super green. He came across that way in any of his AEW stuff. But I think if you put him in the PC, there's a chance that might actually be what works for him. So I would say, why not? Let's try that. If that's the rumor going, he has teased, hey, big things. He's been reported, been seen there. I would say, like, why not? What's, And that's, like, all he can really be doing right now is just going around doing indie dates, whereas the PC... Which he has.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the PC, all the opportunities are there for you to succeed. You know, you can go and do promo after promo after promo in a room. You can train in the ring all day. Like there's so much there. So I'm not a huge Brian Pillman Jr. fan.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to bat for him right now, but
there is definitely potential there. And you're right. Like when that dark side of the ring thing happened, you're like, oh, you could capitalize on this right now. But he wasn't ready, really.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that Dark Side of the Ring about Pillman, and then it showcased him and his junior here, and I was watching that. I was smoking at night, and I tweeted him with almost a tear in my eye, being like, "Brother, I need to support you."
I bought his auntie.
Yeah, we were behind him, man. Yeah, we're behind him. So, especially as NXT guys, we would love to see. I think that would do good for him. So, as Brandovan in the chat says, hey, some people work better in different places and things like that, and the world works in different places. And Jake in the chat says he would like to see proper development in a PC for someone like that. So yeah, I think fans, why not? Let's see if it doesn't work out, he'll go back to doing indies and whatever else. So cool. At least he's wearing that cool T-shirt
in this picture.
He's always wearing. Yeah, I want that shirt. I think I rock that shirt pretty good. People would be like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" But yeah. Good shirt. Good shirt. I forgot what else.
Is it a Bengal? I guess it's a Bengal, no?
Because they're from
Cincinnati.
That's right. Hey, are we going to Dayton to see Gringo Loco versus John Moxley?
We looked at it.
In a lucha death match?
Yeah. Shall we talk to him about it today?
We're going to see Gringo in a few hours.
Shall I bring some skewers and just give it to him? Like,
use these. Stick him right under his head.
Be like, this for Poisonrana.
Stick him right in Moxley's head.
Stab him in the eye.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Shout out Ohio.
Yeah, I'd kind of be down.
We kind of looked, but we couldn't
it's
afford
also
it.
not really possible right now.
Speaking of Dark Side, did you watch?
We're coming there. But,
okay, sorry.
I do have it lined up. We've kind of not really talked a great deal about WWE the last couple of weeks. As I said, there's a lot of wrestling going on, and it hasn't really been grabbing me to kind of catch up on. But you mentioned they just did a Mexico tour?
Yeah, so WWE did a house show in Mexico at the Mexico City, and I think they did Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio and Seth versus Dom. So two big kind of matches there. It looked packed. I saw videos of Cody Rhodes and stuff like that. They need to do a pay-per-view in Mexico.
100%.
They just did Puerto Rico, but like, what the hell? Rey Mysterio could be main eventing a pay-per-view.
Nick Khan was saying about how they want to start like producing TV of different styles. He wants to have like a lucha show and things like that. And obviously Mexico is the way into that.
Yeah, they had a moment with Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, I think on SmackDown or something like that. So I think they're putting some force behind him as well as kind of being a big, Latin star.
So, I mean, you've got, LWO who are huge right now.
I'll tell you, I'm not speaking for all wrestling fans, but we live in a big city. We live in downtown Toronto. I see an LWO shirt like every other day.
Really?
I see it all the time, and I think it's because they started selling it at the Hot Topic. I see it every other. I can't unavoid this shirt right now.
Nice.
So it's working because I don't know about anyone else. We're in Canada, but like I see it almost every day. So
yeah. I definitely think we're going to see more and more of these kind of international PLEs for WWE, and Mexico makes a whole lot of sense. But if they are going in the direction of having I think Nick Khan basically said there'll be WWE content on TV every day of the week eventually. It's like
feels like there already is.
It already feels like there is. But if you're doing exploring more different styles, that would be pretty interesting.
NXT Japan, NXT Mexico, NXT Italy. Ciao bella.
But did you really catch anything else WWE this week?
No, not really, man. I'll be honest. They haven't done too much that's caught my attention. I will say WWE is super hot right now when it comes to their pay-per-views. I'll go to bat saying that their pay-per-views have not missed in a year, maybe possibly now. But that being said, we're going to SummerSlam, so our hype is a bit different than most. But so far with some of the matches, I'm like, okay, sounds good.
It's also, for me, just time of the year. As we kind of mentioned with the cinema earlier, it's the summer. There's a lot of other wrestling on. I kind of trust that I'm going to go and enjoy SummerSlam. Because their PLEs haven't missed, but...
So, Cody and Brock is right now just a singles match, but okay, sure. We got Seth and Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title with the whole Priest looming around there. Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca. I saw some clips from that Charlotte match with Io, and I don't know, Charlotte just looked like she was in slow motion and underwater.
Charlotte's such a weird one because when she's on, she's fantastic, but she has bad chemistry with a lot of people, and she's had a lot of bad matches.
Yeah, it did not look good. So I'm kind of cheesed that it's not Asuka Io at SummerSlam that I thought it was like a few months back, but that's cool. I'm sure this match will be really good as well. I'm hoping it is. And then Tribal Combat. What the is Tribal Combat?
Is that no DQ, I imagine?
It's for the Universal Championship and recognition of Tribal Chief.
Nice.
Wow, Tribal Combat.
I think Jay's got a shirt, the real Chief or something like that now. He needs to get a face tattoo. And that's how you become a real
Yes, Chief.
Yeah.
You haven't watched The Bear, but they should have a shirt that says, instead of yes, chef, yes, Chief.
Yes, Chief.
And they also say cousin, so you could like, cousin. This, I guess, sounds all right. I'm just like, maybe not the card I thought that SummerSlam would be.
I mean, I think that's the direction we've seen it going in. We'll still have a few more. I think Ricochet Logan Paul's going to be announced. And we'll have some more added to that. I am looking forward to Raw, though, this Monday, because got to see the follow-up. Got to see that North American Championship on Raw.
Oh, with Dom.
With Dom.
Yeah, Dirty Dom. What, main eventing like every show this week? Raw, NXT, and SmackDown all in 1 week. Then going on tour to Mexico City as well there. Pretty crazy. Yeah, does he brings out the title. Maybe we get Wesley introduced there. He was at SmackDown well there. So I don't know. Maybe we get some integration and some call-ups that way. Or maybe Dom loses the title back to Wes on Raw.
Maybe. I think he's going to have that for a while. It's just better for both NXT
it is.
and Dom.
Yeah.
And yeah, you mentioned I did watch Dark Side of the Ring this week, the Abdullah the Butcher episode.
Oh man, what a interesting episode this was. I mean, showcasing the like highs and lows of this madman of Abdullah the Butcher, the crazy character, and the kind of the documentary part of his was really interesting. It got crazy off the rails when it goes into the Hannibal fucking Hep C stuff, right? Like I enjoyed seeing like highlights of this guy's character, and then like the interviews of himself of Abdullah now, and like kind of hearing him talk and stuff. It's this show is depressing at the same time, right? Like it's interesting.
He's like completely broke,
kind of sounds out of it. Yeah, just
he seems sweet. He does seem like a sweet guy, but
yeah, I don't know. It's like I've been reading so much about this story specifically.
He hasn't.
Yeah. Can't even fucking read, or can he? Is a part of this story too.
Yeah.
Like people are like, well, what do you mean he can't read? I've seen him read plenty. It's like, oh, what? Okay. Imagine that you just had a problem. I just can't read.
Can't read.
Sorry. Not gonna read this letter from you.
Yeah, like it's when like someone like Mick Foley is like, I don't know about that, but like, I mean, I've seen him. He can order off a menu, plenty good. Like, and Mick Foley's someone I kind of trust. He's not someone I feel is a bullshitter saying stuff just for entertainment's sake, you know? Like,
yeah, again, trying to look at this. I remember when this story, because we're in Toronto. I remember this Hannibal dude's from Ottawa, right? So I remember this being in news quite a lot when it was in the 2000s about this story. And like, I don't know. It's like one way. If you believe it this one way, it's fucked up. If you believe it this other way, it's fucked up. Like any way, which way you have it, it's fucked up. And talking about diseases and stuff, it makes my like skin crawl and stuff. So when it came about like the actual story of Abdullah the Butcher and stuff, I was like super into it, and you know where he came from in his story. Again, I got really into the episode. It took a whole swerve with that part of it. But
I mean, it wouldn't be Dark Side of the Ring if it was just about his career, would it?
Exactly.
It kind of needed that thing. I've seen people be very critical of it because of the Hannibal stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it is like whether you believe Hannibal, like where whoever you believe in this, it's a fact that it happened, that he sued this guy and tried to bring charges to him and everything. Like that's a fact. Have you seen David Pence's Twitter? You know, the ring announcer.
Yeah, see, that's where I was like, I'm trying to read so many different websites posting so much stuff.
Pence is like, Hannibal's a complete piece of shit, and if you want me to tell you everything, like slide in my DMs and I'll let you know, basically.
Right.
there's all that what he took liberties with a referee.
Yes, they aired that in the episode, right? Yeah.
And apparently there's a lot more shit like that.
Exactly. So it's like I don't know. Everything just seems icky about it, and that's the dark side of it, I guess, is really fucked up. A highlight from it though was how fucking cool is Hugo Savinovich.
Yeah.
Dude, we know because he was a former entrant in a Up Next Rumble. He didn't win though, but he talked about blading and Hulk
I'm
Hogan.
surprised he didn't blade on this show.
This guy's cool as fuck. We need to get him. We need to interview him. I just want to hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was so cool.
Yeah.
He looks in fantastic shape, and the way he was dressed in this, I was like, you look like
I
a rock
never realized
star.
he was a manager. I always just thought he was
commentary.
Like,
Oh,
I didn't realize he had this whole other career as a manager and stuff.
Yeah. He's intertwined in so much wrestling history before and after WWE, but like he just came across so like sweet, so like a rock star.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just was like, can I just I hope he had
Hugo. I
need like him just telling stories of the road or something, because that was like the highlight of that episode. But yeah, Dark Side always leaves me feeling icky about wrestling after watching it, but this one I did enjoy this episode.
How the fuck did they cast this guy to play Abdullah?
Like we need someone who can hold a fork and who's got big fat titties.
Yeah. Crazy.
We can spray fake blood all over.
Like the casting's amazing. What do we have next? We're coming to the end now, don't we?
Oh man, yeah. I also watched. I caught up on a bunch of them. I caught up on the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, that was sad.
Doink one. Yeah,
all
of them are sad, man.
It's the theme of this series has been like, yeah, there was this wrestler, then he did a load of coke and died young.
It's pretty. Oh, Bam Bam.
Bam Bam's coming up.
Yeah,
right?
and CM Punk doing the Bam Bam spot in his match on Collision as well.
That's right. Yeah,
cartwheel thing. But yeah. Bash at the Beach.
Okay,
Bam Bam
that
Bigelow.
should be a little more lighthearted, no?
Okay, so next week is Bam Bam and then Bash at the Beach. So
okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know the dark side of Bam
Bam.
Bam.
The Adrian Adonis one was pretty good too, actually.
That was sad.
Yeah, that was really depressing.
The Graham Set family was really fucking sad.
Yeah, all of them were really sad, man. Yeah. But wrestling is interesting.
So yeah, Marty Jannetty, Bam Bam, and Bash at the Beach still to come.
Because for me, like, I love my true crime. I work at a TV station, and part of my job is every Friday we air 2020, famous true crime show, and I love getting into true crime documentaries about weird, interesting things that have happened in this interesting world, and that's where this show kind of brings that together. Where it's like, hey, here's some wrestling, which I love, and then we're gonna take something fucked up, which I also love watching, and we're gonna put it together, and it's like, oh man, it's almost a perfect show made for me. But and that's why I know so many non-wrestling fans who also love this show because they're intrigued about like, wow, that's fucked up. So yeah, love it.
Yeah, no, really enjoying this. We do have a question from the chat. Jake says, question, fellas. Do you both still enjoy the WWE Network with the stuff they're offering?
I mean, WWE Network offers...
And then he retracted it for some reason. So
he deleted it?
Yeah, so we won't answer. No.
You can't answer it now. The question's gone.
I mean, we mainly use it for...
these shows.
Patreon.
Yeah. I'd say I use the WWE Network different than most people. Some people tune in because they want to watch the docs or they want to watch... Talking Smack or whatever. I tune into the WWE Network to watch old wrestling for when we do podcasts or when I'm stoned and I'm like, you guys got to see this ECW Lucha match from 1995.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to the other things we're saying. There's just so much on right now. Yeah. So I don't really dive into it as much as I used to. We obviously use it like What's Next every month, and any like reviews from the 6 or best match ever, we use it for that. Like, I'm never gonna delete my account unless in Canada they change it and it goes to a different streaming service like we saw with Peacock. The one thing I do try and keep up with is whenever Stone Cold does an interview.
Yes.
I love them, and I think they're always cool to put on. Like when I'm cooking dinner, it can be in the background. I don't need to necessarily watch it. I'm listening. I think he's such a great interviewer, and they do still seem to do them every now and then. So that's the one thing I keep up on. But the 24s and all that, I don't really do anymore. Yeah,
it's once in a while. But we use the network solely to go back and watch WCW 2000.
Yeah.
Jake says also retracted it because he wanted to send it as a super chat. But thank you, Jake.
We can answer it again.
Well, if you put it in a super chat, we'll answer another question for you there too. But yeah.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps it up. Is there anything else you can think of from the last week?
No, I know there's always wrestling. Wrestling's just nonstop and always going. There was DDT, there was Stardom. I didn't get a chance to. There's too much wrestling to watch in a week of so many hours. But yeah, I mean, Tuesday night we're back with Up Next covering NXT with some Dom hopefully on the show leading into the go home for the Great American Bash, which is next Sunday. So we won't be going live during the day on Sunday for a Poison Rana, but we will be doing a Great American Bash post show Sunday night. So I think maybe squeeze in some AEW chat after there.
Yeah, we can give like not as extensive as this show, but we'll be covering Great American Bash and talk if there's anything big from Dynamite or the G1 or whatever.
Exactly.
To mention.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, something I kind of wanted to just talk about as well was Eric Young's departure. He's gone back to Impact, and not that Eric Young in 2023 is a huge player, but I just found it interesting some of the things that were kind of said and alluded to. It seemed like he was brought back with intentions to be in a new Wyatt family, perhaps with Uncle Howdy, and having a big spot at WrestleMania and whatever they were doing with Bobby Lashley, I think was meant to be the match.
Right.
And then obviously Bray has this undisclosed illness and has been off TV, so that was nixed. So didn't make it to TV. And then around the same time was when putting two and two together from what he said, he was like, as the wrestling world knows, like there was some changes, and I don't think morally I wanted to work there anymore.
Damn.
So it seems like Vince came back and Eric Young was like, nope. And yeah, respect him for that. So going back home.
I feel like it's a better move for someone like him. I know he does a lot of he's a huge Nashville Predators hockey fan. He does a lot of podcasts and stuff about that, which I'm sure he wasn't probably allowed to do while he was in WWE.
I think the thing with that WWE contract for someone like an Eric Young, though, is there's certainly a producer role for him. I think he's someone who I think would be a fantastic producer. And, you know, if he can get it in the door in WWE and then shift to that kind of producing training role, it's, you know, once your wrestling career is over, it's a whole other career and income with a big company you can get. But, yeah, respect for. I feel more people, and I'm looking at you, GYB, as well as some others. If you timed asking for your release with Vince coming back, I don't think you could have said no.
Yeah, they could have been gone. If
I
they
feel
did that,
like Mercedes and Trinity definitely had their release around that time. Because what can you say? I don't want to work here anymore. I don't feel comfortable working for a guy with these accusations against him. Fair enough.
See you later.
Rather than, I don't want to work here anymore because I keep on getting squashed on TV. All right, well, that's the role we have for you. You know?
Yeah. I feel like Eric Young will be back on the indie dates, and especially in Canada. He's always been like a fun character here, all the way back to Don't Fire Eric, if you remember, whenever he was scared of his pyro back in the old days. So I'm sure we'll be seeing him in Toronto probably in some indie. I know Impact's coming back in the summer, and indie dates I'm sure will pop up. Also from Impact, I saw Alex Shelley was also speaking that if it wasn't for the pandemic, he probably would have been in WWE because they were interested in the time splitters.
He wrestled.
Remember?
Yeah.
It's like one time.
One tag match.
When I marked out completely and went, oh my God, Alex Shelley, which I guess that's why they're like, well, why don't you just be our champion in Impact? So that's pretty cool.
But also like, wasn't it? He works is he a nurse or something like that, isn't he? So like, the pandemic showed that. But it's a shame we never really got that NXT Alex Shelley or Chris Sabin run.
Yeah, would have been
sick. Would have been cool.
Would have been cool.
And going back to kind of Jake's network question, Chris Leone mentioned we do have the Cody doc coming out this week.
Becoming Cody.
Yeah, are you gonna check this one out?
I guess Downstate's in it, so.
Are they?
They were at the premiere.
Hell yeah.
The theme's a big part of it, right? So they're
true.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna try and check this.
There's also some Young Bucks footage in it, apparently, and some references to. He's already making some rounds, doing interviews, and kind of not throwing shade at AEW, but basically like.
He said he's been. He said he's still like close to the Bucks.
Absolutely.
He said I still like.
You tired of CM Punk's shit?
Yeah.
You want a WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Come on, boys. And you know what? Sorry to keep it paused there. in that promo when Kenny Omega, after Blood and Guts, he wasn't referring to Kota Ibushi. He was referring to the Young Bucks, and he goes, "I'll go wherever they go."
Oh yeah.
You want to put some stir in some, like, some controversy there. He did say that.
I'll go wherever he did. Yeah. Like I think that's cool because Cody leaving, there was always, they never really talked about what it was. Both sides were pretty like, it was what it was, and they left. Everyone's always wondering, what's the backstage news? What's backstage news? But him saying like, I needed to talk to them a bunch for this documentary, and we made something huge together with AEW, and I'll always like have that bond with them. It is a shame because of the pandemic. We never had that proper elite Blood and Guts with Cody involved.
Right.
Especially it's his dad's match, and he still hasn't been in one.
He'll be in one finally. Maybe this Survivor Series. Chicago.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. We're going to get ready to go and watch more fucking wrestling.
Yeah, we're going to Demand Lucha, at least Palace in Toronto. But then they're coming back in a few weeks. We're away, though. And they're doing Demand Lucha versus House of Glory in Toronto with Alex Shelley on the card as well, main event as well. So we're really bummed about that. But I know...
Say hello to my favorite bartender there.
Yeah, if you go in the one Toronto. Yeah, Tipper Wells. She's really nice. Maybe we'll get some... promo, maybe an interview or two, hyping that up, because I know Sino and Frank, our friends over in New York, they go to House of Glory every show, and now kind of we go to Demand. This is like our dream show for us, and we're not going to it, so we're super bummed. So we'll maybe get some interview. I would love to interview Alex Shelley, so I might reach out and try to do some talk there as well. So fun stuff, lots of wrestling. Follow us on all the socials at Poisonrana Pod. If you have Facebook, find Poisonrana on there, and then join the Facebook group, which links us to our feedback threads and links to all the stuff that we do. Poisonrana.ca for the link tree of everything that we do. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give us a nice little review. Spotify, YouTube, all the subscriptions, all the little things, the likes go a whole long way. So we appreciate you spending your time listening to us talk about some pro wrestling. We'll be back Tuesday night with our go home NXT show as we get ready for Great American Bash. But I myself, Braden Herrington, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And shout out Buddy Murphy beating the shit out of Max Caster before he could finish his rap on Collision. We didn't mention that, but how funny was that?
That was pretty fun. Ahoy!
Poisonrana.